back to Studio 21.
This week we've got all the latest on hippos, penguins, and wild robots.
Plus, your weekly update on live and local events around town.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Gossip Guru. I'm your host Nellie.
And I'm Hannah. And this week, we've got all the online drama for you.
Right, and starting off strong, if you've gone online at all recently, you might know that Chappell Roan is in a bit of trouble. Have you seen her videos all over the internet this week?
I definitely did see that on my For You page. Although I do feel for her and her right for privacy, she definitely needs a better media team. If I was famous, especially with an exponential amount of success like Chappell, I would be staying so far away from social media, or at least would let my team deal with addressing the public instead of going straight to social media and hitting record.
I agree. With her recent cancellation of festivals, so many people have been left completely in the dust. The dust of the planes that dropped them off in Maryland or New York to see her. A little bit of communication, or at least announcing more than one day before the festival begins, would have saved people a lot of money, stress, and time.
Hey, at least it's a festival. There's so many artists to branch out to and enjoy. I hope she hires a better public relations person or maybe finds a good house in the mountains to buy because it seems like she's ready for this fame to die out. And more positive news, baby animals!
Oh, yes. I never knew how much I could love a baby hippo before the arrival of Mudang.
And let's not forget about Pesto the penguin and all of his 50 pounds of glory.
His poor mother.
I don't even know how the phenomenon of Mudang and Pesto the penguin came to be, but in case you're not aware, here's the rundown. Mudang, a baby pygmy hippo living in Thailand, has completely taken over people's minds with her sassy interactions and with her keepers.
Personally, I love her. Her name, which means bouncy pork, was chosen in a landslide Twitter poll, and she became so big that Sephora even released a makeup look inspired by her. Like, okay, girl.
Right? Iconic. And let's not forget about Pesto. There's so much else to say about this penguin that hasn't been said already. 50 pounds, 9 months old. The average weight of an adult penguin Pesto's same species is about 20 pounds. I can't even imagine how big this penguin will be when he grows up. Honestly, that's massive.
It is seriously incomprehensible. I guess we just need to take a Tiger TV field trip to Australia to report straight from the scene. There is no other option.
So true. Hey, SGA, fund our trip, please. It's for research.
Looks like we have some travel plans to make, but in the meantime, that's all we have for you this week. I'm Nellie.
And I'm Hannah. Next up, we've got our music video of the week, Saturday Nights by Anoha.
Oh my god, it's Saturday! You know what that means. Yo, who's ready for Saturday night?
I got the skate park.
I got the water guns.
I'll invite the people.
Let's do this!
I wonder what those Anoha boys are up to tonight. Let me check their Instagram.
Guys. Anoha's having a party tonight. We have to sneak in.
But Jessica, we have a show. You're gonna ruin the tour.
Oh jeez. I have to get my revenge. Do we have to wear the tracksuits?
Get the tracksuit!
Sunday comes
Jessica. What are you doing here?
I'm here to get my revenge.
Revenge? For what?
You really don't remember?
What an insane Filipino Uno championship this has been. Keanu has been absolutely destroying reigning champion Cheska. After this, I'd say there won't be a next time.
Oh, that's what you're worried about. I got just the thing.
Saturday night. Can't wait till the next one. Bottles of wine. Blacked out from so much fun. If only it lasted. Saturday nights. Saturday nights. Can't wait till the next one. Bottles of wine. Blacked out from so much fun. If only it lasted. Saturday night. Saturday night.
Man, guys, I guess that really was a
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Studio 21. My name is Nellie Clark, coming to you with the soundtrack of San Antonio, where we keep you up to date on all the latest live events and local bands in the city. Coming up this week in San Antonio, Kublai Clan Texas, a metal band from Sherman, is playing at the Boeing Center on Friday, October 4th. It's a heavy month for heavy bands. Lots more metal to come, with Korn, Gojira, and Spirit Box playing on Monday, the 21st, at the Frostbank Center. The local band highlight for this week is Kitchen Knives, a proclaimed shoegaze and post-rock oriented four-piece. Although curated in 2019, they released their first material in 2022. Lead singer Ben Mitchell records and releases everything himself. Kitchen Knives has an album releasing in 2025, a concept album about, quote, incompatible relationships and failed love. It features synthesizers, heavy layers of drums and guitar, and an overall amplified sound in comparison to their last work. Ben says that there is, quote, an emphasis on emotion and really being able to imagine yourself standing in the rain while these songs play, like the soundtrack to your own teen drama. Make sure to follow their social media platforms to stay updated on the progression of Kitchen Knives. Next up, we've got an interview with Ezra Rodriguez, lead of the band Euphonia, and stay tuned for the release date after that. Check it out.
All right. Hi, I'm here with the creator, lead vocalist, and guitarist of the band Euphonia. What is your name?
Ezra Rodriguez.
Hi, Ezra. So when did you start Euphonia?
I started Euphonia here in San Antonio in 2019 when I was a senior in high school. That was right before COVID happened, so it was pretty short-lived. I think we played like one or two shows. Our first show was at Imagine Books and Records, which no longer exists. But shout out Imagine Books and Records. I love that place. And when COVID happened, kind of shelved the project. And then last year, I kind of had like some time and space open up in my schedule, and I wanted to do something more, and so I decided to bring it back.
Yeah. Why did you originally start up Euphonia?
It was like just meant to be an outlet for like other cool sorts of music that I like and am into and wanted to create. That was different from the stuff that I was playing like with my friends and at school and stuff like that.
Yeah. If you had to describe Euphonia's sound in 3 words, what words would you use?
Great question. I would say experimental, progressive, and improvisational.
Nice. So, as you've mentioned before, you're kind of like the brain behind this project. What would you say has been like your biggest inspiration?
Well, my goal for the project really is to sort of blend like my favorite aspects of my favorite genres and styles of music together in a way that maybe you don't hear so much. I'm really into jazz. I'm really into rock and hardcore music, metal music, progressive music, and pop and R&B, and like all these sorts of genres that have really unique aspects to them. And my inspiration is kind of taking my favorites from each and putting them together in a new and unique way.
Yeah. So how do you go about doing that since they're all such interesting and unique like sounds?
I don't know. It's a lot of like trial and error, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work. But I find that there's actually more crossover to genres that seem like they're very far apart. There's more crossover than you think usually, and it's just finding a way to like weave them together, which is the fun part.
What do you think has like helped you the most like in doing that?
I would say just like getting rid of expectations and not really caring about like normal sorts of like song structures or like playing the right notes all the time, or like making sure something is like exactly like fits in like the musical theory aspects of it. I really just try to stay open-minded and open to like wherever my ear tells me to go.
Yeah. What are you most excited for about your upcoming record, which just released for the people who don't know?
Yeah, I'm excited to finally have something out to show for this project because, like I said, I started it in 2019 and haven't had anything to show for since then. And especially over the past year, we started playing a lot more. And I'm excited for people to be able to access what we do, like no matter where they are, like on streaming services and stuff like that. And I'm really excited to use that as a base to like try to pitch to my friends or like any other like bands or like even festivals to like play on festivals or be on like tours and stuff like that. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
What do you think you're most proud of putting on this record?
Oh, that's so hard to say. I mean, I'm proud of the entire thing, from like conception to end, like writing the songs. I remember doing that just like in my room by myself, and then recording with my bandmates was really, really fun, and I'm really proud of like what we recorded. And then after that, I got into like the art creating process with my friend Brady, and I'm really proud of what we did there. So like the entire package as a whole, I'm super stoked about.
Yeah. And where can people find your music?
You can find Euphonia's new album on all streaming platforms, and also on Bandcamp we have CDs that I ship and can ship to you. And you can find that at the link in like my social media bios and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you so much for talking with us, Ezra.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is sick.
Of release date. I'm Zane.
And I'm Carrie.
First up, the newest film by one of Hollywood's most famous and revered directors, Megalopolis.
Megalopolis, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, stars Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, and Natalie Emmanuel. This film follows the protagonist, Caesar Catalina, an architect with the ability to control time as he seeks to change the city of New Rome into his utopia, Megalopolis. However, various scandals and pushback from Mayor Cicero and other conspiring forces threaten the success of Caesar and his construction of Megalopolis.
This very well may be the most difficult film to review I've ever done on this show. Francis Ford Coppola has famously directed the Godfather films, the first two of which I think are some of the greatest films ever made, and Apocalypse Now, which I think is arguably the greatest war film of all time. Controversial opinions here, I know, but that gave me weird expectations of this film when all I heard from its film festival screenings were extremely mixed reviews and that it needs to be seen to be understood. I very much agree with this last part. This movie is extremely dense as well as bizarre. This movie has an all-star cast, and they're all terrible, but they're terrible in a way that is so unique and so consistent that I can't help but think it's deliberate. The same goes for the dialogue, as like 90% of it is incoherent philosophical babble about Rome and the nature of civilization, and then every once in a while this sort of genius and profound line from one of Marlon Brando's monologues in Apocalypse Now comes out. The editing in this movie is insane and kind of incoherent, not choppy or bad in the traditional sense, but just odd. The characters' traits and motivations change from moment to moment, and I sincerely believe they were made up moment to moment. This film is honestly kind of indescribable. There's a saying that rules exist to be broken, and I do think when making art, it's good to bend and break some rules sometimes, and it can produce interesting and very dynamic results. The thing is, with this movie, Coppola breaks every rule, every convention, and every norm one expects of a film as a medium. There's nothing for the audience to grab onto that's familiar, and it left me extremely transfixed and enraptured, but also confused and shocked a lot of the time. I think I liked it, to be honest, but I can't really articulate why succinctly. I think I just have a great deal of respect for how bold and out there this movie is, even if I think a lot of the stuff is objectively wrong. It's like the film equivalent of looking at an abstract painting. I don't entirely understand what it is or why it is the way that it is, but in some weird and slight way, it moved me. A good number of people walked out of my screening, so be aware, but this one just kind of has to be seen to be believed, so see it while you can.
Moving on to another next new release, our next movie is DreamWorks' most highly anticipated film of this year, The Wild Robot.
The Wild Robot, directed by Chris Sanders and starring Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, and Kit Connor, follows Roz, a robot programmed to help human civilization who washes up on an island with no human inhabitants. Because of this, Roz must learn how to adapt to her new environment and to learn to communicate with the native animals on the island. Even though she learned how to communicate with the animals, they don't accept her, and Roz struggles to find a purpose on the island. However, this all changes when she forms a parental bond with an orphaned gosling.
Man, did this movie make me tear up. This movie did greatly exceed my expectations, and there's nothing much to critique about it. The animation is absolutely gorgeous, and there are some very cinematic moments and breathtaking effects, which combine both 2D and 3D animation. Additionally, the story was absolutely amazing as well. Based on the Wild Robot series, a children's book trilogy by Peter Brown, the film perfectly weaves the entire story together, bringing every single detail from the books to the screen. However, some aspects of the story are a little rushed since the film does tackle a lot of events, but for the most part, it's pretty unnoticeable. I especially loved the characters of the film, as they are extremely relatable despite the fact that none of them are human. My favorite character was Fink, a mischievous fox who lives a very lonely life on the island until he tries to eat Roz's gosling. The two form a strong bond that is so heartwarming and refreshing to see in Western animated films. Finally, the ending of the film was nothing short of a masterpiece. It was so gorgeous and enough to make 3 19-year-old college students cry, and several other adults as well. I could hear so many people crying in the theater. Overall, I was so thankful that The Wild Robot was not some dumb kids film, but a story with so many layers, spectacular visuals, and lessons from both kids and adults can benefit from.
With any luck, I'll see this film this weekend, especially with that endorsement. But for now, that's all we have for release date. I'm Zane.
And I'm Carrie. Up next, check out this SA local find.
At Classic Rock Coffee, the vibe brings people in, and the high-end coffee and various eats bring people back. Today, Classic Rock Coffee has franchised in 8 countries. Although the menus may vary in other countries, the desire to provide high-end coffee in a rockin' atmosphere is still the main draw to the interest in Classic Rock Coffee. Today, I'm here with manager Stephanie, and just going to ask a couple of questions. So first, what is unique about your coffee shop?
So what's very unique is the vibe, the music. Clearly, most coffee shops, it's very down to earth, very simple and relaxing. And our vibe is when you walk in, you feel like a totally different vibe. And that's what I wanted to bring here to San Antonio, another vibe, and for everyone to enjoy the music while they're enjoying some good coffee.
Yeah, okay, so Classic Rock Coffee was it's sort of born out of this idea, obviously like a love for classic rock and a love for coffee, but something that the founder sort of noticed early on is like you go into coffee shops and they all kind of seem like libraries, you know, they all have this kind of chill vibe, but coffee is a stimulant, right? And so it was like, we wanted to sort of create an environment that was also equally stimulating. And so Classic Rock Coffee differs from other shops because of that sort of high energy. And that, it's just sort of, you come in here and the music's a little bit louder, it's rockin' music, you
Yep.
know. So yeah, that's essentially what sort of birthed the idea.
Good name.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and then can you talk a little bit about the inspiration behind some of the uniquely named menu items?
Of course.
Like raspberry beret and cinnamon girl.
Yeah. So all of our, I mean, the majority of our drinks and our brews have names that are inspired by famous classic rock honks. So you mentioned Cinnamon Girl.
Yep.
Classic Neil Young song. Any Neil Young fans out there might gravitate towards that. Raspberry Beret, of course, is Prince, sort of the king of pop music. You know, that's arguable. Some say Michael Jackson. I'm a Prince man because he had a guitar. So yeah.
Awesome. And then what do you like most about your job?
The best thing about working in coffee is free coffee.
Nice. That's why I like working in the food business.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
And then one of your breakfast items has the name War Pig. Can you tell me more?
So that's one of our most popular sandwiches. Obviously, some of the food items and coffees we name it after songs.
Mhm.
So the War Pig has the ciabatta bread with any specific cheese, and it has bacon and ham and fried eggs. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Delicious. Okay, and then which menu item is your favorite?
Ooh, okay. I have a few. My two top favorites is the Freebird sandwich and the breakfast flatbread. Those are my two
Both
favorites.
sound delicious, and they have served breakfast all day here, which is awesome. Okay, and then last question, where do you see the future of your company going or business?
Well, hopefully, we open maybe 2 or 3 more stores here in San Antonio and other areas and locations. So we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, we're going to focus on this one, and our main focus is customer service.
I like that. Okay, thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today. Make sure to tune in for next week for the latest in entertainment news, celebrity gossips, and a live musical performance.
Plus the scoop on new releases in the movie and gaming world. We'll see you next time on Studio 21.